doing this interview with Gourmet Heritage. Give us your name, where you were born, and session what you do.
All right, my name is Delali Adiamah. I am a caterer, an all-in-house expert in pretty much everything from baking to savory to sweets. I do it all. But I've been baking for a very long time. Learned baking from my grandma. She was a home economics instructor. So we spent the holidays with her, and that's how I learned how to bake. Over time, it became an outlet for me. Whenever I felt bored or just had an inspiration, it was baking, and baking was my go-to.
So what's your average day look like in the bakery or when you work in? What does it look like?
Okay. Average day starts in the wee hours of the morning, as early as 4 a.m. Includes a lot of prep time, proofing bread, or just making pastries that need to rest in the fridge for a very long time, and then we bake them fresh and as per ordered. It goes out. We don't just do baking, so there's a lot of cooking, Ghanaian dishes that happens in our kitchen. And all of these are just locally sourced ingredients and ordered by families and friends that cannot wait to enjoy the foods that we make here.
So can you talk a little bit more about the ingredients? You say they're locally sourced, but like some of the ingredients might not be so easy to find here, or maybe obviously more expensive than in Ghana or something. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So ingredients are not 100% from BC. Some of them are indigenous, African, and Ghanaian ingredients, and then they are imported from Ghana. So these ingredients are found in the African shops, and that's where I purchase them from, to make the meals that we cook.
What's sort of your relationship to your customer? What is your average customer? What are the people that enjoy your food?
Average customer for me would be students. Most of them being international students, and they are homesick and feeling nostalgic with the foods that they find that I can make. Some are also busy moms, and say people are not married but have missed their parents or their mom's cooking. So those are my average customers.
Did you feel COVID? Did it impact you? The COVID pandemic? How did that impact your business?
Who did COVID not really impact? I mean, I think for me it was exceptional because I had finally decided to start my catering and my food business full time in the Christmas of 2019. And then as I was planning and trying to get all my paperwork done, I found out I was pregnant. So I could not execute it right away. And then there was also the lockdown. So I thought, oh dear, now everyone is indoors and nobody really needs to buy food from outside. But on the contrary, as I personally was home, I was tired of my own cooking, so I would order food from outside. So there I think it was a great opportunity for my business to bloom and to grow. But it was a good time for me to plan all through those 9 months and then come out and execute that. Yeah.
Can you speak more to like any difficulties in establishing your business, with or without COVID, just what kind of roadblocks, because it's a recent business. So what was it like for you to really get it going, get it off the ground?
Oh, I think some of the challenges for me would be client base, trying to get them aware of my products because they are not they're not they're not everywhere, and you'd be surprised. There are so many blacks and Africans in Vancouver, but you just don't know where they are until there's an African Descent Festival, and then you see them all come out. So for me, it was like always, how can I reach out to not only my church family who are predominantly Africans, but beyond them. And then I sought to social media. So Instagram has been the biggest platform for me with promoting my business. Yeah. So social media has been that answer to that challenge of finding where my customers are.
Did you find it difficult to maybe, like, or did you see there was a difficulty in accepting African or Ghanaian cooking for more like a Canadian audience? Did you see that they were, or did they just, like latched onto that food and thought it was amazing, or do you see it a little bit of a hesitation, or?
I believe that we have a very polite country. We have a very polite country, so even if the people don't seem to understand what you're offering, they're also okay with asking. If it means using the description of a menu item as opposed to the name that is locally called, that was how I sort of like turned to get people engaged in it. So instead of saying jollof rice or instead of saying shito sauce, I'd have to describe it as chili sauce so that they know what it is. So if I say shito, they're like, what is shito? If I say puff puff or bullfoot, no, but if I say an African style donut, then you're like, okay, and now I get where you're coming from with this meal that you're presenting to me. So it was a lot of descriptive names that you have to give to our menu items as opposed to the actual traditional names that they are called. I believe maybe our Chinese family and folks would also relate to that with explaining their food.
So you think the acceptance of the food and the value in is similar to some of the European food, that people would say like, yeah, I buy bullfrog and I'll pay the same as I would pay for a gourmet donut or something, or do you think that's not quite, where are we with this?
I believe a lot of education has to happen for people to fully accept African, West African, Ghanaian food for what it truly is, and how much love and effort goes into it, and what is valued. With that being said, there is still a long way to go with where we are going to be on board with African and normalizing African food as the food that you can find on Skip the Dishes and DoorDash or wherever is popular now for our generation. So we still have a long way to go with accepting African food. Yeah.
And I mean, African food is also not exactly fast, right? So
Yes.
if you could talk a little bit about the length of preparation there.
African food takes a long time. I mean, before dinner is made, mom has probably thought about it 2 days in advance. So if it comes to cooking, I would say goat meat for, say, goat pepper soup, it's going to be a long time with marinating it. And then it comes to over hours of cooking it till the meat is soft. And then you take your time to flavor it up with some seasoning and vegetables. It takes a very long time to make. So I remember growing up on Sundays after a long day at church and then coming home, and then my mom says we're making jollof rice or we're making palm nut soup and fufu, and everyone is like, oh my god, then we're gonna die because the food is gonna take forever to come to us. So she has a way of going around it. She'll serve us maybe salad and some bread. First she will bake bread from a day or two before, and a day or two that she thought about that in advance. So it takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of effort. It's not fast food. We don't have hot dogs. We don't have hamburgers. These are all adopted meals for us from the Western world. And yes, it's popular now in Africa, but that's not what we know to be African food. even growing the food, it takes a long time. Growing yams, tubers, corn, it takes a long time, and our farmers do a really great job with trying to grow them organically without pesticides and fertilizers. So these are all some of the things that make our food really rich and highly nutritious. So highly valued, that should be attributed to in every way. Yeah.
So speaking of like growing, you mentioned actually earlier, like there's a farm that you go to. Is that your farm, or is that like, what's the connection to your cooking there?
Oh, so I do source goat meat, which is a popular protein item on my menu. I source it from a local farm in Langley. I drive about 45 minutes to the farm, and then, well, before I even get there, I have called up the farmer to let him know that I want this cut of meat and this weight. So can you prep this up for me? And once you get there, you see him cutting it, you see him handling it, you know how he treated it, and so I'm confident in cooking that meal. And that goat tastes amazing. It's smoked. He takes his time to smoke it as well. So that's what I love about building direct connections and relationships with our local suppliers here. Yeah, so not too far away.
And you mentioned that you're from Ghana, so what would be your most popular dish that you yourself or your family most like to eat?
Oh, so that would be my favorite and popular dish would be plantain and beans. We call it red just because the plantain looks red and the bean still looks red as well. So we just gave it an AKA red. And besides that, I think my next favorite would be wache. And wache is like the popular street food that almost everyone just loves and adores. It binds the northern part of Ghana and the southern part together. It's a meal that is known among the Hausa people, but all of Ghana has adopted it to be the meal that everyone loves. So
could you describe a little bit what that is for?
Wache is rice cooked in sorghum leaves. So sorghum leaves are reddish. Once you mix it up with some hot water, it brings out this rich burgundy color, and then we cook the beans in it with the rice, and then all the nutritional values from sorghum is just packed up in that meal. Yeah, you will enjoy it with some spaghetti. You enjoy it with some. I'm getting hungry right now talking about it. You enjoy it with some plantain, with some shito chili sauce. You can add on. I don't know. It's endless. It's endless. As minimalistic as you want, just the white rice and beans and stew, or as posh as you want it to be. Yeah.
And I believe the bread that you baked for us is Wolfram. Is that right? Or?
So I baked a popular Ghanaian sugar bread. The sugar bread is sweet and it's just soft and chewy on the inside. So these are breads that you find early in the morning in a local bakery. They will pull it out of a clay stove, a clay oven that is preheated with a lot of wood fire. Then they clear it out and then bake the bread in. It's just like how you have your wood pizza. Yeah, the similar concept. That's how you bake the bread in there. So early in the mornings you go line up and it's fresh.
I think I don't know if you started touching this earlier, but when you came together, when like I guess when you're thinking of what you're going to be doing, did you ever think that you would be doing this, or did you always think it was going to be like a passion that you go home to, like that kind of thing?
So I have not always wanted to be in the food industry. Growing up, I thought I was going to be working with the United Nations. I did some work with the UN in communications, which was fun. Worked with the UN in 2015 for an internship. Loved it. It was a lot of field work. But over time, I started rethinking whether this is something I wanted to do. I've always had that passion for food, but I didn't pursue it just because I thought it was passion and an outlet, not really money making venture, especially in our Vancouver city, that will not suffice. So, but once I had my son, everything changed for me. With working with so many wonderful people, be it in the food industry or in corporate, it's just was not enough for me. So I wanted to pursue this dream of cooking and this dream of owning my own business where I could just be creative and be whoever I wanted to be with food and with the lovely ingredients that I have in hand. So yeah, it wasn't that path planned for food, but eventually we're here. And I'm glad to be here. Yeah.